He dabbled with Meta Knight for a long time. He's dabbled with Kazuya before, playing the Terry now today. Hey, I think I've seen Zoo play probably 8 or 9 different characters.
I
know it's been a lot more than that.
It's such an absurd number that we lost count at this point. But Zoo, of course, has an innate thing where he's a rule of cool guy. He only plays characters he finds to be cool. That's why he's actually stopped playing his most successful character lately, Mii Brawler, because he doesn't like Mii's. So he's finally back to the Terry. But you were alluding to it before, too, that Wolf was kind of his favorite one. I know he does not like the Wolf matchup, though, against Pac-Man. So I think we'll be seeing Terry throughout the set.
The Terry matchup, Terry Pac-Man, right, Riddles has shown that this is doable, but it's definitely very awkward. We see why Terry... the only really counter zoning tool he has is Power Wave, and it being stuck to the ground just means that Pac-Man kind of can control space with Hydrant, charge those fruits uncontested, and with how good Pac-Man's up-close buttons are, if Terry doesn't find an initial hit or gets caught by the Hydrant, even when he does, like we're seeing right now, it can just be really hard for him to get anything started.
Yeah, and Terry, it kind of falls into that same rule before we were saying, approaching Kiwi is not a fun time. Kiwi is so good at a defense. She's good at mixing up how often she attacks out of shield too. She doesn't do that all the time, but she's a frame trap machine as it goes on. The disadvantage to Terry is so poor that it's easy to get those as Pac-Man, and that good SDI, defense. Yeah, she's not going to fall for those often.
Yeah, and that SDI, it's not Power Dunk. You can SDI out of it, but it's definitely not the easiest one to do so. And the Bell going to find another stock. That's the second one Kiwi's taken in exactly the same way, just the immediate charge into throw Bell. Zoo definitely getting a little bit antsy.
I don't know what character he has warmed up right now that could work to help him get in without having to rush right in through these, because it's not like Terry can't get the job done. It's just the fact that he's approaching what feels like no plan against the item toss. He's got to find a way around that, because he can beat the out of shield game. That puts him right next to you. But if you don't get around these items, he's going to continue to struggle.
Yep, and also, really, he has not found a way to deal with Hydrant either so far. He's done such a good job of controlling space. The water, even when he's found a grab, has kind of pushed him out of what should be a combo starter, just not letting him get a single confirm and allowing Kiwi to just reset over and over and over.
And F-Tilt's going to push him back off stage. Of course, that the orange, or the melon, one of the two, said you lower it too. But the apple gets checked out by Crackshoot. And, Go Meter is online. This is definitely one of the harder characters / players to make a huge comeback on around here. But with Go Meter, it's not necessarily impossible.
Yeah, no, there's a reason that when he gets to 100, it's not just Go Meter, it's Go Time. And it's because Terry is just all the way to the wall. But Hydrant, Apple, gonna, Friends in Red coming in, taking the stock, and I didn't know that Apple actually sent Hydrant straight up like that. That angle is disgusting.
There are many different ways to manipulate the Hydrant, and Apple being one of the trickiest ones, because most people just assume, okay, it's going to come towards me. If you do things like up tilt or up smash, of course, it'll send you at a high angle outward. But the Apple keeps everything stationary.
Yeah, the fact that it goes straight up, it just creates a wall almost. And the fact that it does so, especially for a character like Terry, he just means that he kind of has no way to get in from you, because he has to commit lower high to get around it, and Pac-Man is just going to cover the other one with his options. And already Zoo just immediately coming off the angel platform into the corner, and just Kiwi whacking up the percent on this.
No way to get in is definitely a very common theme that we're seeing with anybody against Kiwi, outside of Ling earlier, who is able to kind of play around that upward range. Terry doesn't have that ritual, and that's a big part of where things get so stressed. That, of course, forces you to hold grab, and the back air is coming in soon, or just a mistake as Zoo, I think he wanted Crackshoot. I don't think he wanted that, but that's going to set him off.
Yeah, with how Terry's moves, and even with their command input, are easier to perform than the Shotos, but with that, it also comes that they're easier to miss input. And we see that coming in clutch there. Kiwi making really good use of the orange. Her fruit diversity is one of the best traits, I think, of her character.
Yeah, and I'm seeing, Zoo's, I'm seeing moments of brilliance out of Zoo where he's getting better at some of the approaches, but it usually ends up leading to a trade-off that he didn't want later. Kiwi has now pushed him, of course, to that situation where basically any straight hit aerial equals a ledge trap, and that's not what you want, or sends him so far away. Here's that ledge trap, though, and he fast falls again, and now Zoo, just forgetting how to recover with Terry, is going a little bit too low, and that puts Kiwi in a much better spot.
And to get in that position, too, using the key B just forcing Zoo to shield, which then forced the reset and allowed the water to then push Zoo to the corner, or was just so incredibly smart, really put Zoo in a checkmate, but the Hydrant causing a betrayal, stabbing Kiwi in the back a little bit, and giving Zoo the break he needed.
The Hydrant's just like, look, we need to help him out a little bit, okay? Let's just, come on, girl, let's help him out. Yeah. But Zoo,
get one lifeline.
Hey, with Terry though, you gotta be careful about letting anything like that happen. But the same thing as before, Kiwi just building on this lead, not letting it get away, forcing Zoo to have to go through an obstacle field to get in. That grab does find a mark, and it puts on a 42. But here he is again, constantly getting hit as he tries to approach. Her disadvantage has been really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But just as you say that, just getting a normal air dodge. She gets caught into a reset, but managing to find her way back down, and now the Bell at ledge. So scary, just waiting out Zoo's invulnerability into another ledge drop. He finally manages to catch a fruit, but just using the Hydrant, letting it linger on the fruit as well. Kiwi
sitting at 101 now over on the side of Kiwi. Can she get back on the stage? And Power Geyser finds the mark, so still a doable situation, much better than last time. And also, bear in mind, this is a game that involved 2 Zoo SDs. So somehow bringing this all the way back, I don't know if he'll finish it, but that is at least a good sign for the next game. And Kiwi messes it up.
Yeah, and again, just that's the situation. But the Hydrant, Zoo managed to find his way back, but he had to drift from so far away. Now he has to go low, expend all his resources trying to find his way around the Bell, but it's gonna catch anyways. And he was so low, that hit him so low, and the fact that it still connects because it wasn't the stun that connected. It was after the stun when you get launched that then comboed in the F smash.
It's that move, that Bell is so good. It just the fact that it can cover that low and pretty much drag you off the ledge is such a good option from Kiwi. She'll catch you with it later on, especially characters who are innately more inclined to try and say swing from ledge to get back on.
Item win god.
Oh my god.
Am I wrong? I mean it's the same thing.
I mean, it's ill girlfriend before Kazuya showed up, but now it's town and city time. Of course, those side blast zones will be a little bit more beneficial. However, it doesn't really matter because Pac-Man forward smash is a thing, and that was already one of the earliest kill moves to begin with.
Yep, and one of the awkward parts here, right, is with how grounded of a character Terry is. When you get stage layouts like this, Pac-Man can kind of just play above you and just drop the Hydrant down on you, camp her fruit, and Terry has to commit very hard to even get in when we're seeing Kiwi just make full use of these side platforms or arms to just really control the pace of play so much.
Yep, side B has been pretty good for getting him at a disadvantage. Not the best option, but it's mostly just been where they're about a character length apart. Usually, it's someone like Terry, who you don't want to be right next to. But Kiwi's playing is like, no, I'm just better at boxing than you up close. And that's going to be a back air off the Bell, and that's going to be Kiwi once again striking first.
Yeah, no, the fact that Kiwi is just been able to find these confirms all over the place is really impressive, because even though, like, yeah, it's how Pac-Man works. They're finding these situations under high pressure against a character that can be as explosive as Terry, and just constantly having the familiarity to play this aggressive against a character like that is just really impressive, and it's just really exciting to see out of her.
Yeah, and Zoo is doing his best to try and get like an anti-air, but Kiwi is now kind of shifting it up in almost similar way that Ling would approach it, where Ling does those aerials right around you. She's approaching right on top of him, because these the spot dodge up tilt and the up Bs aren't coming out, and they're not doing anything to actually stop her from just jumping in.
Absolutely, and just using the Galaga, letting it be safe shield pressure. It didn't get the angle she wanted to give him back, and just the last hit of that up B clip connecting, but just at the edge, so it's not going to kill. Kiwi kind of catching a little bit of a break there. The dash attack, though, is going to do it, and just like that, Zoo's evened up the stock and definitely has the ability to bring this one back. See
if Zoo can try and find his way back into this game right now. He's sitting at 98. Of course, for Kiwi, you kind of just only want to go for a kill option here. You don't want to actually push him into go meter to let him try to steal this away. So for her, I wouldn't be surprised to see an attempt to try to get the Bell ASAP or try to find a force a ledge trap. However, Dare finally had to happen, and doesn't really matter. Even with them getting pushed into that, she's still keeping him out, and there's the forward smash.
Yep, and that, again, it was so beautiful. She jumped away, baited Zoo in with her movement, and then used the B reverse to just call it out. Just very simple item play, but I don't know. I just love item play in this game, man. It's so cool.
It's with how many characters there are in this game, and then you have to deal with all of the trajectories of things like that as well to have in your memory bank, there's so much to remember. But Kiwi, even after that bear fading all the way where with a coverage nair to get on that platform was so good, she's doing everything she possibly can to make sure that Zoo never actually gets a party starter.
Yeah, no, the fact, like, what's really been insane is that Zoo really has, you know, even with how high Kiwi's percentage, I don't think we've seen Zoo get one real combo all set other than maybe jab, jab, power dunk, if that even counts as a combo for Terry.
It's just been, I mean, so she's been falling out of those. Up B will finally do it, though, and that puts it back down to one stock apiece once again. Zoo keeps bringing all the way back. It's just that he hasn't been able to close a game out yet. Can he finally do it?
I think he definitely can. Finally finding a solid string to start an advantage state there. But the Hydrant, the water timing again just tripping him up. And now he's stuck on the center platform. Kiwi, though, going to ledge is going to give him an opportunity. Can he find his way in Ajax?
We're going to find out right now. That grab's going to go ahead and send him back off. And Go Meter is on deck. But Kiwi also has him at forward smash percentages. She just needs to get to basically her Go Meter with that bell. Galaga going to force him to hover away, but she's got the she's already recycling it. Get ready to get that much closer. And the Fire Hydrant actually is just going to be enough, catching him jumping, and that's going to put Kiwi into a 3-0 dub, letting her take that trip to loser semis to fight up the winner of the next set.
Yeah, no, and you saw Zoo there at the end. That unfortunate, that Hydrant, he jumped after the Hydrant was already bouncing. It was just kind of, he was like, okay, this is how I need to get out of the corner, and he just kind of autopiloted it. He didn't really say, okay, what angle is this coming at? Because he could have just run underneath it. But you kind of have to pick either or if you aren't super familiar with those Hydrant angles. Do I think it's going to bounce? Is it going to go high? Is it going to go low? Where do I go?